Welcome to the YouTube channel of Tax Study Occasional Training Center, Ernakulam, approved by NCVRT, New Delhi. Today, we are going for an introductory talk on GST. What is GST? GST means Goods and Services Tax. It is an indirect tax levied and collected by both central and state governments on the supply of goods or services or both. Our country, India, follows a federal administrative system. That means we have two governments, that is the central government and state government. And both these governments have sovereign powers. That means it has all the powers of a government, including the power to make laws. When both these governments make laws on a common matter, there is chance for dispute. So to avoid this dispute, it is necessary to share the powers of the governments. So the powers of the governments have been shared and have been mentioned in the Constitution of India. In the 7th schedule of the Constitution of India, there are three lists. List 1, Union list, List 2, State list, and List 3, Concurrent list. The Union list mentions the powers of central government or the Indian Parliament to make laws. The State list mentions the powers of state governments or the state legislative assemblies to make laws. The Concurrent list mentions the powers of both central and state governments to make laws on common matters. So the powers of the governments have been shared in the three lists. For the functioning of both these governments, they need funds. What are the major source of revenue for government? It is from tax, various taxes. In India, we had a large number of taxes. The entire taxes may be divided into two categories. One is the direct taxes and the other is the indirect taxes. In the case of direct taxes, there is no intermediary. The tax burden and tax liability are vested in the same person. But in the case of indirect taxes, there are intermediaries. The main example of direct tax is income tax. If I have income, it is my liability to pay tax to the government. But in the case of indirect taxes, the tax burden and tax liability are vested in two different persons. Now let us see which are the taxes coming under direct and indirect taxes. Income tax, sales tax or VAT, excise duty, customs duty, service taxes, wealth tax, gift tax, estate duty, building tax, road tax, professional tax, entry tax, entertainment tax, professional tax, corporate taxes, countervailing duty, special additional duty, etc. From this, if we set aside some of the taxes, all other taxes are goods related. The goods related taxes can also be divided into two categories. So before that, we have to understand how we can make available goods for our consumption. I mean, if it is one is manufactured in India, other is imported from foreign countries. If it is manufactured in India, in both these cases, we can divide them into two stages for tax purpose. If it is manufactured in India, it can be divided into two stages, that is manufacturing stage and distribution stage. If it is imported from foreign countries, It can also be divided into two stages, that is import stage and distribution stage. In both these cases, in the first stages, that is in the manufacturing stage and in the import stage, it is the power of the central government to levy taxes. But in both these cases, in the second stage, means in the distribution stage, it is the powers of the state governments to levy taxes. Now let us see which are the taxes coming under each stages. In the manufacturing stage, the taxes levied are excise duty, tax on toilet preparation, tax on medicine, tax on textiles, etc. In the import stage, the taxes levied are customs duty, countervailing duty or CVD, special additional duty or SAD, etc. The taxes levied in the distribution stages are sales tax, entry tax, purchase tax, etc. are the taxes levied in the distribution stage. Entry 84 of the Union List mentioned the powers of central government to levy excise duty. Entry 83 of the Union List mentioned the powers of central government to levy customs duty. Entry 97 of the Union List mentioned the powers of central government to levy services tax. Entry 54 of the state list mentioned the powers of state governments to levy tax on sale or purchase of goods. But in the case of interstate trade or commerce, it is the power of the central government to levy tax, the CST. But now we are collecting the entire goods related taxes and services tax in one name called GST. But there is a problem of introducing this GST in the constitution. In the pre-GST scenario, there was a need for amendment in the constitution. It was against the provisions of the constitution, so there was a need for amendment in the constitution of India. The history of GST bill, the constitution amendment bill, the passing of GST bill, implementation of GST, GST Council, GST Common Portal, etc. will be discussed in the next video. If you wants to learn more, please contact 9387498440. I repeat, 9387498440. If you like this video, please subscribe and press bell button. Thank you.